All right. Welcome. So today we are celebrating Black entrepreneurship, and I definitely want to thank each and every one of you for showing up and coming to learn more about Black entrepreneurship. And so what we're going to do today, we've had a couple of panelists come up, we've had a couple of speakers come up, and we are going to get it wrapped up with the incredible Jáe Pesante. If you haven't heard of Jáe Pesante before, she is the CEO and founder of Spotlist Inc. Have anybody heard of Spotlist Inc.? Are you going to tell us about Spotlist Inc.? Oh my goodness. Y'all got to hear about it. Y'all got to hear about it because I got questions. I got stuff. CEO of Fashion Entertainment Media, and she's going to be sharing some essential advice about starting up a business. She's a professional with over 12 years of entrepreneurship experience in developing and improving talent, businesses, and brands within music, media, entertainment, fashion, sports, and lifestyle industries. So she got experience for you, all right? You definitely need to hear this. So I'm really excited to hear whatever it is that you have to say. I'm so glad that you've come to impart all of your experience and all of your wisdom and all of your knowledge on these young minds before they get started so that they can learn from whatever it was that you learned. And without further ado, can we all give a big round of applause, like a big round of applause for Jáe Pesante. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so as you guys know, I'm Jáe, right? I pretty much got that out the way. I've been doing this 15 years, and from my experience, no one kept it real with me about how to go about doing it. And what they don't tell you, and how I grew up culturally, right? Because one side of my family is from Nigeria, the other one's from Ghana and Spain. So, I don't typically look like what you would expect my culture to be necessarily. But all of those things still worked against me. And pretty privilege is a real thing, but it's not in the corporate world. That's a whole other part of the business, but being a woman is very difficult across the board. Whether you're in music, fashion, entertainment, media, lifestyle, I've done it all. I started off as a freelancer, and I started my college career here at Morgan State. I turned down the big school, Duke University, and came here because I felt at home. I felt culturally I was going to be amidst people that really embraced who I was, where I was from, and how I walk, how I talk, all of those things. And I felt safe with the professors. I felt, I had both visits. Wasn't that one was better than the other, but I felt that I would have more opportunity to be who I was at Morgan. And so I came here at 17, freshman year, orientation was lit. I don't know how y'all do now, but it was great. One thing I can't say is that I had a great social experience here. What you guys have now in terms of resources is amazing. And my year wasn't all there yet, but I think the best thing that I did was actually work and go to school, and that helped me build my resources here as well as off campus, which is how I got my internship in the city. So I started my business when I was 19. At that time, I had transferred to New York, interning for a company called Hollywood Life. Some of you may know it, some of you may not. Now, Hollywood Unlocked, Hollywood Life, okay? Too twisted. But yes, I interned for about a year and left and decided I could do all the things that I had learned in that internship on my own. And I came up with Fashion Entertainment Media because I knew that I wanted to do PR and marketing in those spaces. So working with Hollywood Life allowed me to actually ear hustle. No one taught me anything, guys. I'm gonna be real with you. No one held my hand. Nobody showed me A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I just had a natural ambition and a natural intuition to just pay attention and do. So I got the internship, yes, and the senior vice president of that company pretty much saw I didn't know what I was doing. Hashtags were new. I didn't understand what was happening, what I was supposed to be doing there. I walked up to her and I was honest about it. And I said, listen, I don't know what I'm doing, but I felt that if being honest with her was gonna lead to me losing my internship, that I was gonna end up somewhere I needed to be, because where I was not giving me what I was interning for. So, and if I was honest, maybe she would help us out, And she did. She did. Old school is you went to unpaid internships. This new school idea of getting paid, where getting paid to do work that you have no experience, no time under your belt. You can't even show somebody else how to do what it is that you're trying to get paid to do. Is crazy. I'm sorry, it's crazy. And I have an internship program. I do, but it's crazy. It is very. I'm like, well, what was we doing wrong? What were we doing wrong that we weren't getting paid? But I feel like it created a hustle, an everlasting hustle in our spirits. This is why when she saw it was only 3 people in here, I said, I'll be right back. I went outside, I said, who wants to be an entrepreneur? Who's looking for entrepreneurship? Because that hustle never leaves me. I'm not grinding, which means I'm not taking any and every opportunity, no matter if it's $100 or $10. Those days are past me, thank God. Thank you, Jesus. But I still will always hustle because what I'm about to give you guys, I feel like if everybody had it, we'd be in a different space. We really would. So essentially, I ended up having the privilege of Margot putting me in those rooms with her, the board meetings, the showrooms, and all these different things that came with Hollywood life in her position. And I paid attention. She didn't show me. She didn't go, this is this, we're about to meet this person. I just sat next to her and I watched and I listened. And any word I didn't know, I locked it in and was like, okay, I'm gonna go home and Google that. And I just taught myself. Self-educating yourself is the biggest opportunity you will ever give yourself, is going home and looking it up and not expecting someone to show you. And it's nobody's responsibility to do that, right? So I ended up doing that, left, figured I learned enough, I watched enough, and I was gonna actually try to do it on my own because I could have stayed in the internship, still watching and listening, but you have to at some point have the confidence to say, let me try it. And so I did, and I didn't get paid for a long time. It just is what it is. I didn't get paid for a long time. And when I did get paid, it was always, for me, I felt like the paid opportunities weren't $1,000 checks, weren't $200 checks sometimes, but the rooms that I was in. So the thing about this is unpaid internships, I agree with them if there's a name under it that's gonna give you the meat that you need on your resume. So for me, I was interning with Hollywood Life, right? And then I left and went to Sony. Then from Sony Biostorm and all that, I interned and I was able to learn a lot. And even though I didn't get paid, I learned a lot, and guess what? Sony was on my resume. And there's a skill in that too, we'll get to that later, but ultimately, there is no fake it till you make it. They say that, and there is, but that doesn't mean you blatantly lie, because some people will blatantly lie. But there's a way to finesse that to create a perception of something you really did to make someone give you that opportunity, that chance that you need. So I interned for places, and I freelanced for spaces that may not have paid me a lot or may not have paid me at all, but the names gave me the credibility that I needed to grow my own personal business, right? Because I'm 19 and I have Sony, I have Biostorm, I have Guess, I have all these companies that I work directly with as a freelancer. So imagine walking into Sony and everybody's in their cubicle, everybody got their degree, and everybody that's getting paid a check, and they're clacking and clacking, and I'm walking right by. And you know who I'm meeting with? The executive, the manager of that division. They will have to click and clack for 5, 6 years, compete against each other, throw each other under the bus, do whatever they gotta do to get in a room where they have a one-on-one opportunity to put something together with that executive or that manager of their department. Now, difference is when they clock out, they have a check. But I'm building a relationship. You get what I'm saying? That's different. I could literally go in my phone, I could get another opportunity at Gas or at NBA, and then come back to them and say, yeah, I actually just did some marketing stuff for Gas and NBA. Now that opportunity turns into a check. That relationship turns out, oh, well, you did do a great job last time, and now you're working at this. That's great. They don't need to know if NBA paid me or not. They don't. All they know is that you're scaling, right? So that's what I did. And I did that for a few years. And then I created the first interactive gifting suite for the NBA All-Stars in 2015. And that just came from me looking at what the industry was doing and what it was missing, right? And as an entrepreneur, that's what you're doing. You're filling a space, right, that is a problem within society, right? And you're creating a solution for that problem. That's what your business is supposed to do, right? You want to create T-shirts and jeans and sweatshirts that are good for the economy, good for the environment. You're fixing a problem. The problem is that there's a lot of waste, and now you're creating an environment or a brand that now fixes that problem, right? That's what your job is. That's what your brand and your business is supposed to do. You would know that if you created business plans. Just saying, if you started your business plan, because that's what's going to get you funds. And for us, we have to have investment decks, business plans, one sheets, all of that on deck, period. Especially women, just saying. I love when I meet with an investor, his eyes glaze over, because I've answered every question, crossed every dot and I and T, and they don't even see me coming because I look like I'm 20, you know? So that is a big part of it. And so I did that. I ended up creating the first interactive gifting suite, which ultimately, long story short, was more digital and creating an experience that wasn't just about showing up, getting a goodie bag, enjoying hors d'oeuvres, and now the brands have paid hundreds of thousands of dollars just to be on a board, right? Like a board with a red carpet in front of it, and people are taking pictures and a press release. That's what they would get. They would pay 100 grand, 50 grand, 10 grand, 5 grand, just to have their name on that board, having people walk across it, take pictures, celebrities and influencers, take pictures in front of it, and then for the PR to send out a press release. And what happened was they got tired of that crap. They were like, we're not doing this no more. Instagram came out, social media. At that time, the photo booths were not the spinning thing y'all have out there now. It wasn't the spinning, lights with the 360. It wasn't even a tablet. They had just gotten introduced to events. And so it was a big deal, like, oh, you have a photo booth, but this photo booth is like the ones you saw in the movie theaters in the 90s. You get in there, And so what I did was I said, okay, the problem with a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of problem with freelancers in general is they're thinking about money, right? Because we need money. We're not doing this for free. You investing in yourselves, you're doing what you guys do. And the problem is that in doing that, you forget about who you're serving. And so a big part of me as a strategist and why I'm so successful is because I think about all the things that the client needs and all the things that's going to make the experience better for the client. And in doing that, I win. Because ultimately those benefits that I'm creating are ultimately going to create opportunities for me to have revenue. I'll break it down for you. So ultimately, with the interactive gifting suite, I decided to find a digital space for these folks to hibernate, so to speak. So what I did was I looked into a photo booth, right? And I came across a company that had the tablet. But the best thing about this company is they had an algorithm, right? Y'all know what algorithms are. Okay, just saying, I don't want to put y'all to sleep. But it had an algorithm that allowed you to, when Nicole Murphy takes a photo, just having a good old time at my event, she will ultimately take that photo, push send, is going to tell her to send it to her social platform, and when she does that, it's going to add my company and every brand that's in that room. Exactly. Game changer, okay? So that ultimately was very appealing. Now, I did this 2 months before NBA All-Star, so everybody thought it was crazy, but I used my resources. I had one